Hello, this is Larry Bodine Live, an official program of Democratic Legislative District 9, where we interview volunteers who are actively campaigning to turn Arizona blue. And today with us, we have Darsi Aldrich. Darsi, how are you today?
Morning, I'm great today.
That's terrific. Darsi is a Democratic precinct committeewoman in the foothills of Tucson. And she was also a 2020 delegate to the Democratic National Convention. I want to ask you about your current project, where I understand you're on the phone for 4 hours a week. Tell us about your phone banking activity.
Well, I've been working with the Mission for Arizona since we started up end of February.
Absolutely.
We want every vote is going to count in Arizona, because I truly think Arizona is a tipping point to help Biden win the election. And I think the Mark Kelly campaign is a big part of it because of all the support we have from Mark Kelly here in Arizona.
Absolutely right. Tell me about your approach, which you said derives from your experience at Nordstrom.
Campaigns are like working for Nordstrom. Nordstrom doesn't do big advertising, neither do campaigns. Nordstrom is, the approach is all grassroots. You call your customer to come in. You call your customer when you're going to have a big event. And they call them calling campaigns also. So for years of calling campaigns with Nordstrom has helped me call campaigns for elections. And you're part of a team, you're part of a grassroots movement that you are one of hundreds of people calling that weekend or that day, reaching out and making a difference.
And you had mentioned earlier that you had two calls. One was a lot of fun involving a woman in the hospital, and the other one was really inspiring about a woman on the Navajo Nation. Tell us those stories.
The woman, she was in the hospital in Globe, Miami area. She'd been in the hospital for over a month, and she had gotten her ballot in the mail. Her children had brought it to her, but she said being in the hospital for the last month, she had lost all contact of everything. She didn't know what was going on in the world. And when I please sit down with her and help her vote for everyone on her ballot, I think I probably spent 30 minutes with her. We went through every initiative. We went through every candidate. I gave her my pros and my cons. And then she'd say, well, if you were me, who would you vote for? And I'd say, well, if I were you, I'd vote for them, but I'm not you. You have to make the choice. I cannot tell you who to vote for. But she followed me along the way. The Navajo Nation was Election Day 2011. We were calling for Anchor Patrick. I had called a young woman. She had gotten a ride to the polls, but had forgotten her ID. So she had just gotten home when I called her. She'd walked 5 miles back home to get her driver's license so she could go back to vote, and was planning on walking back the 5 miles because she said it was so important to make sure President Obama got elected because she didn't want to lose her Indian health services. I got her phone number. I told her to please stay put. I would get back to her, and I would have someone get her to the polls. She got impatient and worried, and she wanted to walk before dark. So she started walking back to the polls, but an organizer for Anchor Patrick found her walking on the road and took her to the polls to make sure she got home afterwards.
That's fantastic. That's just doesn't get any better than that. Now, you've been active for quite some time. I understand your parents were involved in the George McGovern campaign in Mitchell, South Dakota, and you started canvassing in high school.
I did. South Dakota doesn't have a lot of Democrats, but my family are hardcore Democrats. And my parents were friends with the McGoverns. We would get to canvass on election day, and the best part was we got to skip school to go canvassing for the McGoverns every Senate election, and then when he ran for the president. And the best part was our superintendent of schools was a diehard Democrat, and he excused every child who went to canvass on election day.
That's great. That's wonderful.
And now I just found out yesterday, Nordstrom is making election day a paid holiday. And you can either have the day off with pay or work with time and a half. And then they sent links out encouraging everyone to start phone banking and calling people to change things in the U.S.
You know, that's the way it should be. So, Darsi, what would you tell other people who are, on the fence about becoming active in the campaign? What's your advice?
Well, phone banking, next to canvassing, which we're not allowed to do right now, phone banking is the next most important thing you can do. It's grassroots. You reach out to people. You make that one-on-one contact that normally someone may not get, and that you get that name in their brain where they start thinking about that person, and you can answer their questions for them. And also, phone banking isn't fun. It's not fun at first. You have to learn to enjoy it. You have to you have to learn to be uncomfortable being comfortable making those phone calls. But once you do, you realize what a big difference you're making in this country. And this year of any year, we need phone bankers out there. We need everyone calling. We still have 1.1 million people in Arizona we need to contact by election day.
Well, it's great to be on the same team as you, Darsi. You're a phone banking machine, and you're a legend in Legislative District 9. I want to thank you so much for being on Larry Bodine Live, and wish you all the best in your campaigning.
Well, Larry, thank you. And good luck to you, and let's turn Arizona blue.
You bet. See you next time.
Okay, see ya. Bye-bye.